Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He lives.
Oh no, sorry.
There we go.
I thought that was James.
Nope, that was me.
Yeah, I thought there was only one Mike Belcher
In Soviet
here.
Russia,
That was my first one.
Helen has an emission for me.
Oh!
All right, let's do this. Really? No.
Musical interruption. Jeez,
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like I could have made it there.
Good old Pearl Jam.
You grew up fast and you grew up.
All right.
Jeremy.
All right.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel.
I am the walrus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends don't prevent me from revisiting my childhood and having a terrible time, and instead force me to watch movies.
Yeah, that would
Same
have been a hard
difference.
sell last week, Johnny. You were excited
Yeah,
about this.
I was excited about this. I was very happy because this week we watched The Man with One Red Shoe, and I forgot to introduce the
Hooray.
cast, so let's do that.
Nobody worth mentioning.
This week we have with us Eric Larson. We have Chris Arsenault.
Yeah, I'm here.
We have James Barrup.
This is acting. I am acting right now.
And we have Colin McMillan.
I'm doing Jane.
And I am your host, John Barrup. And this week we watched The Man with One Red Shoe.
Yay.
Two
I thought
factions.
that was a dirty movie.
No, it is not.
What am I
It's,
thinking of?
behind the red door?
That's the green door.
Oh, the Red Shoe Diaries.
Ah, man, maybe that's it.
Okay.
We got
Well, I
We
watched
got
the
there.
wrong movie.
That sounds like a Skinamax movie.
Man with one red
It's
knob.
about a hooker, y'all.
With a heart of gold?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Sure.
All right, two factions of the CIA trail Richard, a classical violinist who's picked out of a crowd and accused of being a spy because he wears one red shoe. All right, starring Tom Hanks, Dabney Coleman, Laurie Singer, and directed by Stan Dragati. Yes. Dragati. So, as is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked this movie, me, gets to review the movie first. Me. This is not a good movie.
Oh,
This is a movie that you watched so many times you broke the tape on.
I love this movie.
No, I know.
John.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I drown in the nostalgia well when I watched this again. It was terrible. I mean,
No.
yes. Out of all the 80s Tom Hanks comedies, like Money Pit, Bachelor Party, Volunteers, Big, all those
Splash.
early
Was he in Splash? Yeah.
Yes.
Splunk. Squish.
This one is definitely the bottom of the barrel.
Lover.
Even Tom Hanks himself panned it. I don't have the exact quote, but he basically came out and said, "This is not a very good movie." And he's right.
Why on earth would he say that, John?
Also, like, to be fair, when's the last time you watched any of those other 80s Tom Hanks movies?
I haven't watched them in a while. I don't
You know,
even know if they're any good.
I watched, was it Money Pit not
Yeah,
too long ago, I feel
I would
like.
stick up for Money Pit.
I'm not sure
I
would.
remember Money Pit being very funny.
Yeah, like Money Pit when like something finally breaks and he like snaps.
Dude, I was thinking of exactly that part. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Mhm.
Like
That's fucking
the
awesome.
money,
Yeah,
the
but
Money
the
Pit's
rest
funny.
of the rest of the movie is...
Yeah.
Well, let's not
If I'm
forget
if I'm
Tuner.
being honest, that's the only part I remember. That and like, is it Is it it'll cost you, or is it 2 weeks? That's the handyman phrase. I don't remember.
I can't remember. I think it's 2 weeks. But, yeah, I mean, so Money Pit is probably one that holds up. I mean, chances are all of those Tom Hanks movies don't do very well. But watching this movie, you can at least...
Oh, come on. You guys forgot Turner and Hooch, like the greatest movie of all time.
That's a great movie.
Yes, that is a great movie. Turner...
I haven't gone back and watched that one.
I
Turner and
mean,
Hooch,
it's
the greatest movie of all time.
Top dog, but
I don't know.
How
Is
does
it
it
better
compare
than
with
Canine?
Canine?
Hey, I'm having flashbacks.
Uh-oh,
But
we
none
just
of these
jumped
pale,
into the-
all of these pale in comparison to fucking Air Bud, though.
Oh, right. A dog playing basketball.
Airbud, Space Buddies.
Yep.
What about Dog Cop, where the cop is a dog and also a ghost?
Any other Soccer Dog fans? Soccer Dog was my jam when that shit came out.
Mm,
Soccer Dog.
Shut up,
John, I think I
Colin.
made you watch Soccer Dog,
I think you did.
and it was so surprisingly. I don't know, man. Like, it was terrible, but like, it was that to me. Soccer Dog is like so bad as good territory.
So, basically, to sort of sum this up in a nutshell, as I stated, it's not a very good movie. I can see why I liked it as a kid. It's got all those farcical elements that I would have loved back then. I mean, the sex jokes flew right over my head, but it had a lot of loud noises, funny faces, and people yelling at each other, so there is that. But the plot is pretty weak. It's a movie that does not have much focus. It kind of goes all over the place. And honestly, the biggest complaint I have about this movie is that for the most part, it's pretty boring. Any laughs that are in this movie are they're so far spread out that these long, weird periods of nothing just don't even really allow this movie to ever hit its stride. So I can see why this one is not one that people remember or that really comes up in conversation at all when people talk about Tom Hanks or even 80s comedies. This is definitely not one that makes the list because it is so forgettable. In fact, I watched this on Thursday, and already the details are starting to fade away.
Isn't
Wait, today's Thursday.
Last Thursday.
What?
I'm right there with you, John. I watched this Thursday, and the details are already slipping through my fingers.
So, John, you watched it immediately after we potted last week?
No.
So it
That was
turns
almost
out
really,
that
really
John
sad.
is a complete liar.
John has no clue what day it is.
I don't. It's so true.
Put
when
a man on 4 months of forced overtime. What do you expect?
Yes, but what I meant by Thursday is Tuesday.
Okay.
There we
so
go.
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
All right.
Yes. But the point still stands. Regardless of what day it is, even if it's a day in the future, this movie will start to fade from memory.
I think I may have watched it as well on Tuesday.
Yes. So, with that being said, we are going to move on because I'm actually curious what some
We
of
are going to take a quick break.
We're going to move on, and I'm curious what some of the rest of
Johnny.
you folks think.
Johnny.
So, Eric,
Yeah.
would you like to go?
Well, yeah, because mine's going to be quick because, obviously there's not a whole lot to say, but maybe some of the things I bring up, you guys will be able to pivot off of.
Upon.
Yeah. All right. We've got notes. The first note is, oh shit, 20th Century Fox fanfare. This must be Star Wars. It did at the beginning of the movie. It was like, brat,
Yep.
brat, brat,
Was that
In a
your
town
review?
not very far away.
But was it?
Jesus.
We're committed to the bit here.
All right.
So was it just me though, or was it like a truncated version of it? Because it felt like it stopped really soon.
It was. I think it was a truncated version of it. Next note is these
it didn't deserve
costumes.
the whole fanfare.
Oh.
Sorry.
Next note is these costumes are offensive. those fucking white guys in their turbans going through whatever in Morocco.
Yep.
Yeah. Next note, all salam alaikum, brother. Next note, as a responsible driver, I always keep cocaine in my tires.
That's
It
right.
helps keep balance.
Yeah, it keeps your tires balanced.
It's balanced.
Yeah.
It's the worst place because it stops them from being tired.
Oh my
Shut
god.
up, James.
Next note, Augusto Pinochet, shout out. I don't know. They just mentioned Pinochet, so I gave him a quick shout out. That was nice.
Yep.
Next note, an umbrella doesn't help in a yard full of sprinklers. They
No.
went out into the yard with the sprinklers running, and he put an umbrella up like that was going to help anything. Like
Well, he
like
was
like
also
sprinklers
wearing a,
rain.
raincoat.
One of them was.
What? Yeah, because he was prepared.
Yeah.
'Cause it was his
Wait,
house.
maybe the umbrella was for aerial surveillance.
Oh,
Maybe he was shielding himself.
Or
now
maybe
you-
the umbrella is magic and it has
Colin-
a force field.
Colin, you should be in the CIA, my man. That's like next level analysis.
Yep, that's
Who says I'm
walkie-talkie
not?
shoe technology right there.
Yeah. Next note, nice. Jim Belushi, by far the better of the Belushi brothers. Or at least by far the more
A live one?
alive of the Belushi brothers, the more available of the
There you
Belushi
go.
brothers. How about that? And the best ability, Chris, is availability. Oh boy. I wrote these last night, obviously after some drinks, and I don't remember many of them. All right, next note, I by far prefer young Tom Hanks. He got so shitty as he got older. That is
But
facetious.
He also made
irony.
Fire.
Fire! Wilson!
I love me some Tom Hanks.
Next note, bathroom break. Next note, back from the bathroom break. The dong's looking nice. Healthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Next note, ass dart. Yep. Next note, dope ass bike stunt when he fucking ramped over the car in his bike.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking sweet.
Mhm.
The next note is Tom Hanks's baseball jersey says chair 1, like first chair violin player.
Yeah, he's a true nerd.
Yeah.
What a dork.
Oh yeah, next note, getting sleepy. Yeah, that I know how that ended too. That ended with me falling asleep before the movie was over. Waking up this morning with my phone and Netflix still open on my phone.
Wow.
But we're gonna get past that. Next note, I think John wanted to be Dabney Coleman when he grew up.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Next note, I wanted to be Robert Shaw when I grew up. I never knew Tom Hanks was such a good violin player. Maybe he should have tried that as a career instead of acting.
Aw.
All right,
Aw,
good
what?
good analysis there. Next note, Babar Tokes.
What?
That's a joke only for James.
Yep. It's
Okay,
a good joke, but I don't know why that made you think of
Yeah. What?
So yeah, James, me and James were playing a game at Jeff Con, and
Yeah, that was clearly an elephant teapot.
oh yeah, Colin, Colin, you were playing that too, right?
It was my picture that he captioned Babar Tokes. It was an elephant teapot.
Babar Tokes. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Next one. Look at all these pervs all proxy dating T. Hanks. Yeah, like so when the girl's like making the moves on Tommy, and they're all like sitting there at the double glass window, fucking like almost ready to pop. Like they're just like they're all like smoking cigarettes and fucking creeping out hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was strange. The next note is the girl in this movie is attractive. I need to take a quick break. And
I have some videos I gotta return.
Aaron.
Well, but the follow up to that note was I went to bed. I fell asleep. I just fell asleep, and I finished the movie today at work. And the last note that I wrote sober today at work was, "It's incredible how easy it is to knock someone out with the butt of your gun. It's like they're barely even hitting them." Okay, so people got knocked out with the butt of a gun, with the butt of a handgun, like 4 or 5 times in this movie, but it was just like they were tapping people on the back of the head and they went down like fucking fainting goats.
Yep.
Like,
that's how easy it is.
Like, that's a good reference, by the way.
But like, that's what it was. Like, people were just going down. Like, I think our favorite Belushi, Jim, got knocked out with the butt of a gun twice, and he just like, his eyes rolled up into his head and he did this like comedic, like, whoa, and fell over. Like, I don't know.
Isn't it cute when Jim Belushi tries to be funny?
Yeah, it's
so endearing.
Yeah, it reminds me of another like younger brother that I know when he tries to be funny really.
Oh no. Hey, wait a minute, I'm a younger brother too.
I could do other things, I don't have to be here.
Shade.
I was doing other things. It's fine, you guys.
Yeah, we know. That's why you're a half hour late.
Half hour? For like 11 minutes, because I didn't leave the house.
That was like 27 minutes just now. It was no half hour.
Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up by saying I didn't laugh when I watched this movie. And I think it was supposed to be comedy, but I didn't laugh. Tom Hanks, like, so we actually got a couple of little nuggets of good Tom Hanks, like when he's reacting to Jim Belushi, like, so Jim Belushi's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and he's like, okay, so go to the bathroom. Jim Belushi's like, can you go with me? He's like, oh, come on, give me a fucking, like, give me a break. Like, we get some pretty good, like, Tom Hanks, like, silly acting, which is always good fun, because Tom Hanks is great. Like, Tom Hanks doing comedy is great. Tom Hanks doing drama is great. Tom Hanks just like standing in a room alone, not reading dialogue is great. Like, Tom Hanks is one of the 5 greatest actors of all time. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, somebody come fight me about that, because it's not.
It's a bit of a stretch.
It's
I'll
not.
fight you.
It's not. He is.
And by that I mean I'll go next.
I mean, look. There aren't people that can be as good at comedy and as good at other, like, as good at drama
I don't know,
as
you're
him.
spouting some
and
really
he's very good at
controversial
both.
opinions. Might as well.
What?
Yeah, I mean, like, water is wet, and we should really stay away from stuff like that.
Hey,
Tom Hanks is a good actor. Whoa, but it's pretty bold, bro.
But if you
Let's not
initial
get
his first
here.
name
Gotta be careful.
and put his last name, it's T. Hanks, and it looks like thanks.
okay.
true.
So what? Okay, so I was saying something. Wanted to like say that it was obvious. But even in agreeing with me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you guys were actually like no.
Yeah, for a second, I was pretty convinced by James's deadpan sarcasm. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is awesome."
Okay. Yeah. I like.
Trying
Anyway.
to do comedy over here, guys. Don't mind me.
Yeah, we can tell.
No, you can't. That's a problem.
No, we can tell you're trying. We see
James,
we
James
see the
just
work.
He just wants us to join him on the edge of comedy.
Yeah,
we
you just
see the
need
work, man.
Yeah, you just need to preface everything, James. You need to preface it with, like, say, I'm about to tell a joke.
Yeah.
And then end it with saying, that was the joke. And then afterwards, if nobody laughs, then you explain the joke.
Yep.
That's how it works.
You say, I'm
Okay, but I'm done.
joking."
James Barrett here, and I'm about to tell you a joke. Marmoset and Goblin. Oh.
And it was a hullabaloo.
It's an illusion.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, I didn't enjoy this movie. This isn't one of those Tom Hanks movies that's like fun to go back and revisit because there's nothing here.
No, there's nothing here. I
Yeah.
agree.
I'll
Solid.
go
I feel
next.
like if James finds the edge of comedy again, he should jump off of it.
Oh, come
Oh, I
on.
didn't know I was visiting the Shade Factory today. I thought I was doing a podcast.
James, you did it wrong. You're supposed to say, I'm about to tell a joke. Wow, I didn't know I was visiting the Shade Factory today. That was the joke. Okay, obviously no one got that, so let me explain it. Everyone is throwing shade, and I'm in a factory. So it's a shade factory.
There's a lot of shade, so therefore...
So
Just like
do they
factory.
manufacture shade, or do they just like box shade?
I'm walking into Eric's furniture store.
Lamp shade?
That was a joke.
You're getting it. You're getting it.
All
A couple more tries and
righty.
you'll be there. All right, so moving on.
I'm itching to go.
All right, Colin.
Colin,
Boy,
do
and
you
there's-
have an
and
opinion?
there's- I do. And you know I always have an opinion. Yeah, and no need for sunglasses here because we got plenty of shade. That's okay, there we go. Anyway, so I don't know. I had fun watching this movie. It is super stupid. I haven't watched Tom Hanks in anything in probably a couple years. So I was like, oh yeah, Tom Hanks. He's always really good. And he used to be a real goober in the 80s.
Yes.
I sat down with my pen and paper, and you may recall last week I made an effort to be like more organized, and this week I just did not write anything down at all. It's like a blank page. I watched the movie. I laughed at a few parts. The Carrie Fisher Tarzan thing was funny, but it's also sort of like that's probably what a kid thought sex was. You know, like this is the kind of sex game that a 10-year-old thinks that adults probably play, which sort of is the level of humor at work for the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things that are like now dead arts from comedy that are present in this movie, like the part where Jim Belushi like flips over something on his bike, and there's just the slow-mo thing of him flying through the air. It's a stunt man, of course.
Where he
But, like,
flies
and I was
into
like,
a
oh,
river
yeah.
or
But
something.
it was a solid stunt.
It was an
Yeah.
excellent stunt. But I like, and there's a couple really good stunts. I think both of them were on bikes, but like a couple good stunts. But I was like, oh yeah, they used to do all kinds of silly shit like that, where it'd just be like, oh, there's somebody's running down the street or whatever, and then it's like crash and flying through the air and flipping over, blah. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that you may have forgotten about. It's sure not a great movie. And when you see Jim Belushi as one of the headlining actors, you should know what you're getting into.
To be fair, he wasn't. He wasn't even listed. John
Yeah,
named
he's
him.
No, not in the Netflix synopsis, but he's one of the first names that come up in the titles. You know,
Yeah. He's got like fifth or seventh.
yeah,
Same thing.
yeah, behind people whose names are now unknown. Yeah, I watched this movie Monday, and there's certainly a lot to forget in 3 days. But I did try to do Eric a favor and not talk about it before we reviewed it. Yeah, I heard you, buddy, and I was like, okay, I'll just be quiet about it. This is a stupid movie. Again, it's one that you could probably stand to put on to entertain your children. And you might remember that at one point Tom Hanks was young and didn't do serious drama. It got a chuckle out of me, but for the most part, it's pretty stupid. Although there's also something they do in this that like I can't stand, and that is they have the character who's just constantly taking abuse. He's like one of the fucking CIA goon guys, and he's just constantly like getting hurt in ways that would put you in the hospital, and then in the next scene he's fine. And it's just like, hey.
There's two of them in this movie. There's one for each side.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's the guy who like ends up in the sewer and he gets like showered in shit water and stuff. Yeah.
And then there's the guy who gets all his teeth yanked out.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Finally snaps at the end.
Right. And like they used to do that stuff too, where it's just like, we'll have this guy who constantly is getting hit in the face with a brick. Comedy has changed. Is it better comedy to listen to Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill just sort of ramble back and forth and say the F word a lot? I don't know. Maybe somebody could write a strong thesis about that or something. I don't know. It's dopey.
So what, you want to compare a man with one red shoe to Sausage Party?
I can't.
Well, they were both comedies that weren't that funny. And
Right.
I mean,
And were heavily dated, like influenced by the time.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like anybody who watches Sausage Party in another 10 years is going to be like, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It got a chuckle out of me. It was cute. You know, Carrie Fisher is probably the most consistently funny person in the movie, but she's only in like 2 scenes and her character exists for apparently no reason. So, Man with One Red Shoe.
She exists just because they wanted funny girl in the movie.
Yep. They needed a funny, goofy girl in the movie. I don't know, to compare to the girlfriend upgrade. Maybe he's good. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't try to reason it out. Pick something else, but this movie is dopey, and I had fun watching it. So that's all.
Fair enough.
That's it.
All right, who's next? Chris or James? Jump on in.
James.
All right, so yeah, I'll go through this thing. So, like I said, busy week for me. Just watched it, kind of. Yeah. So honestly, this movie is incredibly dated. I think this is the most 80s thing I've ever seen. Period.
Really?
Well,
More than The Running Man?
Whoa. Talking
The
about
Running Man had
a
its own
gem
kind of, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was good, but it was still 80s.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and, like Beverly Hills Cop is very
Super
80s.
80s.
Yeah, super 80s.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know, this just had like this really uniquely like cheap.
That is my favorite Pearl Jam song.
Oh, come on.
Hey, to Man with One Red Shoe's credit, the soundtrack was moderately less annoying than a lot of 80s movies.
I was not annoyed
Yeah.
by any of the music in this movie.
Right.
I
Very
can't.
Yeah,
There's
honestly,
there's some faint praise.
That's Thomas Newman, who went on to score American Beauty.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Randy's more talented brother?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, his older brother was actually
You got a friend in me.
You're not bad to
I'll-
me. Sorry.
that's a brilliant impression there. Jesus Christ, I don't have anything for this movie, and it's taking me forever to get through it, like always.
It's a jungle
Yeah.
out there.
All right.
That's what we're doing. That's the name of the game, folks. We're just tanking each
Yeah.
other's reviews.
Yeah,
That's all
pretty
it's-
much.
You just wait on
done,
it.
this
Sabotage.
movie obviously done super cheap. It's not that good. It kind of reminded me of those old like super cheesy like 60 movies, 60 comedies. That
Mhm.
yeah, the plot is both convoluted and it not only leaves stuff out, but it's convoluted. So like, there's just shit that isn't explained
Yes.
completely in this movie. Like how the hell the good guy spy. The good guy spy, like it doesn't explain what his plan really is
Right.
at all, like how he's going to trap the other guy. Also, in the very beginning, like it seemed like they were running some sort of operation to catch the other guy in some sort of a cocaine operation that they flipped on him, but that was also not explained how the hell that works.
Yeah.
The premise here is kind of great. The execution is just awful. It's like, it just seems really lazy.
You know what? Yeah, the premise could actually make this premise. You know what? This is a movie that could be redone much better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually in full agreement because as soon as James got that out and made a actual, cohesive point,
Coherent point.
cohesive, coherent, whatever, it stuck
Kismet.
together.
All my points stick together. That was a joke.
Yeah.
That was a joke. That was a
But
joke.
no, you are totally correct in that. The base premise about pretty much a ton of misdirection created by one faction to totally, elude another faction. It's very great. It made for a really high potential farce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you are correct. It was executed as poorly as it could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when we have other 80s example. Well, actually, one of my examples is from the 90s now that I think about it. But like Oscar, which I really enjoyed, huge farce. Noise is Off, fantastic movie version of a stage play. It's just a great farce. But it also kind of, maybe the spy part of just the total, just goofiness. Remind me of Spies Like Us. But these are all kind of in that generation of comedy. But unlike Man with One Red Shoe, those fulfill their quotient of comedy. And Man with One Red Shoe falls so short. I mean,
it really does. I mean, it seems like there was a lot of there was some decent work done on constructing a joke.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing where you had the people come in, but he's coming back too quick.
Yeah.
Like he walks in the dentist and he hears like sounds like somebody's having sex, and then like that sets up like a bunch of payoffs to happen later on in the movie. But the payoffs were never that great, and it never had like a real crescendo that like, you really kind of need in this type of movie.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it was kind of funny when
solid.
like Jim Belushi sat in the chair and it fell apart.
Yeah. But that was about the only decent like later payoff that we got.
Or like when all of Tom Hanks's plumbing doesn't work anymore.
Okay, I disagree.
Right.
That happened too. That wasn't that funny though. I mean, it was
No,
like,
it wasn't that funny.
it was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you really,
Or the
I kind
you're
of
right.
didn't
There
get
needed
it.
to be a
I
crescendo.
kind of didn't get it because I was like, so are these just guys? Like, is the CIA just completely incompetent in what they do? Like,
Yeah, now see,
They're as
that's
competent
really
at
what
their spy jobs as this movie was at comedy.
oh,
pretty much, yeah. So let's play James Fixes the Movie now. Honestly, you don't need that whole huge premise. You don't really need an honest bad guy. All you need is spy games.
Yeah.
Just one group against another group.
Yep.
And they're constantly fucking with each other. Think Super Troopers with spies.
Yeah.
And then just have one of them be really incompetent and the other one super good. And there you go. And then you have this guy who's just a schmuck who's stuck in the middle of it. And honestly, because when I was a kid and I watched this movie, I've seen this movie a million times, just like John. I loved it when I was a kid, but I never quite got it because I never understood the plot and I never understood how that whole thing worked. And I thought it was my fault. I thought I was just like not smart
James,
enough
you're
to
not
be picking
to
up.
blame. It's not your fault.
For once, it's not my fault that I didn't get a thing.
That's
honestly, this is it's just badly constructed and explained.
Mhm.
So, yeah, honestly, just not that great. There's better movies.
All right.
If you want to watch something that's just a step above, but not fantastic, same sort of area. Man Who Knew Too Little.
I was about to say that exact same thing. Yeah.
With Bill Murray.
One of the few
Yeah.
Bill Murray movies I actually enjoy. So I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah.
And that is a really weird movie because that movie belongs in the 80s, but I
Made
think
in the
that
90s.
was like
Yep.
late
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
It was in a point in time where they just weren't doing that kind of comedy anymore. So it was a really weird. It's got a really weird tone to
It
it.
really felt
But-
weird watching that, like when it came out.
Yeah.
It's like, what year is it?
All right, Chris. So do you? It is
Yep,
your
and
turn.
I still have things to say. Imagine.
Okay, I was going to say because you pretty much went in the middle of
No,
it.
that
So
was
I was
that was
wondering
Chris
if
off
maybe
the
that
cuff.
was.
Chris still has plenty written down.
Yeah, this is
buddy.
literally the amount. Like, this is like 1/10 of my notes that I actually got through for
Jeez.
interrupting James.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Another
Then
tenth
the
of it
Man
is
Who Knew Too Little.
another tenth of it is a drawing of a dog.
Well, there's a tenth that's a dog, and then a tenth that is a
There's
an
an
eagle
alligator.
fighting an alligator.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Important work. Chris is doing important work over there.
please post your notes on the page.
Will do. We've already established that this movie is not as good as you can't. Well, not as good as the praise John put on it.
Hey, now I didn't praise it. I just
I
said
watched it so many
watched
times
it a
I
lot.
broke the tape.
He said he loved
Was that
it when he
one
was a
time?
kid.
That doesn't have any denote. That doesn't denote quality at all. It
No,
just
there's some
denotes
text
quantity.
there.
But you don't watch a movie that many times if you don't like it and if it's not presumably a good movie.
Though you might
granted-
break the tape.
Granted, the stupidity of youth. I'm just saying. Anyway,
I'm just saying this is comedy done
Yeah.
right.
Oh no!
Well said,
Three
my man.
ninjas, Chris. Maybe.
yeah, Three
False
Ninjas. I do want to point to one thing when the car falls in the beginning of the movie and explodes cocaine.
All those guys
and
just start shoveling it into their face.
Yeah.
Cocaine! Cocaine!
It was amazing.
Like, they don't, like, save any for later. They just ram it all up their nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're live now, party now.
Right.
These guys.
Yeah. Pretty decent beginning, honestly. Everything
Yeah.
after that just not.
I don't know, man. Those turbans are pretty offensive.
Wow.
You look like a zebra. I should have got the waterproof paint. That was a funny line. I'm sorry.
Oh, the CIA ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we do have, we have a fool who gets the girl for some reason.
Hmm.
And the good guy gets the big job in the end. Well, that's not any of your concern, because it's not your job anymore.
It's mine.
It's mine.
Yeah.
Yes. So that actually was kind of heartwarming to see the good guy who didn't want to totally essentially see this innocent man get totally fucked into the world, not get fucked into the world. But here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the 80s Tom Hanks comedies. I like where I went through Money Pit, he was in The Burbs. There's a couple other. I'm not a huge fan of it because they're really just too goddamn goofy. Now,
Go back
if
and
you
watch
want
The Burbs, John.
a comedy with Hanks, you gotta watch something like A League of Their Own.
Oh.
Yeah.
League of Their Own is great.
Yeah.
Or
Love
The
seeing
Green
that.
Mile.
See,
He pisses himself.
I thought you were setting us up. I thought you were going to say Philadelphia.
Or The Terminal.
No.
That was just a joke of a movie. I'm not going to go
Terminal
after
was
the
kinda
Philadelphia story. That's
Yeah, no, that's a bad joke.
That's crass.
That's yeah.
But laughing
that's
at a
bad
You guys
man
making
who
Philadelphia
can
jokes?
pee, that's funny. Even though a man is going to his death.
Well, yeah,
That was a little,
Michael Clark Duncan grabs his wiener,
and makes him piss.
makes it all better again.
Yep. Tom Hanks, R. Kelly's Michael Clark Duncan. You're first. And then we have a great line in this movie. They had sex. Then he played the violin. And then they had sex again.
That was a pretty good line.
It was a good line. But that was about it.
Yeah.
The movie was just... It wasn't sure if it wanted to, go after a kid audience or an adult audience.
Yeah.
And try to appease both.
Yeah.
But it didn't want to go too raw to offend, kids and parents. But
They wanted to have adult jokes in there too.
It missed the mark on all sorts of levels.
Was this made before the R rating existed? Because
No,
didn't the R rating come into existence in the 80s?
No, it was
earlier
than
80s.
that. Earlier.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
no. The R rating was always around. It was the PG-13.
It's PG-13.
No, that's right,
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of these movies like this one that should have been PG-13 or whatever. Because nothing violent happens, but half of this movie is about sex.
They
you know.
say fuck 3 times in it. So
Do they?
PG.
Yeah.
Huh.
But my point
yeah, he says
is that
fuck when he
this
does his
movie
awesome
is
skit stuff.
this movie just is not as good as other movies in the same class. The farcical type stories. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not going to go off and tell people, "Oh, you got to watch this movie." I will recommend several other movies before this in the same class before this movie. I'm not saying you should avoid it. I don't feel like you're doing yourself a disservice, but this is definitely a movie you can watch, not really pay attention to, kind of chuckle maybe while you're passing, or folding laundry.
It's
or
a
doing
dishes movie. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So
If only there was a way to watch this while mowing your lawn, I would have saw the whole thing.
James, did you also mow your lawn before the podcast today?
Well, I certainly didn't do it while I was at work.
that was a joke.
Mow the lawn, that was. That was a joke.
Thank you.
See, I didn't know a joke was coming because he didn't preface it with.
Here comes
Yeah.
the
About
joke.
to make.
I don't
Here
I
comes
don't
the
think I
joke.
understand jokes anymore. I just period.
I don't think you really ever did.
Once I get it, Colin, I'll explain it to
I
you.
certainly don't understand how to make
Once I
Oh, okay,
figure
cool.
out how they work.
deal.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it and say that we're all pretty much on the same page here. Man with one red shoe. It's a hard pass. Nobody really needs to watch this. So, with that being said, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be
Chris wins the game.
It'll be time for the game.
That seems likely.
Tally ho, John Hates Movies listeners, it's Eric Largent with a quick reminder of how you can find us. The best way to stay appraised of all of our activity is to follow us on Facebook at John Hates Movies. There we'll post all of our new episodes as well as whatever we're feeling interested in at the moment. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service like iTunes, Stitcher, or Podcast and Radio Addict. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave us a comment. We read every single one, and they're much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at John Hates Movies, or follow me on Twitter at Eric Largent. Now, stay tuned for the game and find out what movie we get to watch next week. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch along with us and leave us a comment on Facebook telling us what you thought of the movie. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is now time for your favorite part and mine. It is time for the game.
Hooray!
Yay! So, there are certain actors that, for some strange reason that even I don't know why, I get really excited anytime I watch them in a project or they show up on a TV show that I like. And as Eric rightly identified, Dabney Coleman happens to be one of those actors. So, this game is in tribute to Mr. Dabney Coleman. And it's another in a series of Real or Nots. But this time it is ridiculous names. Because I think Dabney's name is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I am going to give each of you a name. And you guys are going to tell me whether or not this is a name of a real person or not. I'm not going to include any fictional characters. And this is all primarily going to be people that are in the public eye, even if it's a small role. So you might recognize some of these names. Maybe not.
These are all actors or just famous people?
What about all like sports people?
They're all people that have been in the public eye in one form or fashion for one reason or another.
Sports people, nice.
And you'll tell us who they are.
Some of them I will, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're starting with Eric.
Yay.
Erwin Charles Wiener.
I think that sounds like a real person.
You are incorrect. That is fake.
Oh, no.
That is Icy Wiener.
Okay.
Icy Wiener.
Okay. Was that like one of those Bart prank calls on The Simpsons that I never saw?
Futurama, actually.
Okay, same thing.
Same thing. But yes, it's actually also a traditional one.
Right, okay.
All right. Chris.
Yep.
Vicky Assert.
I like this game.
I'll go with real.
You are incorrect. That is also fake.
Asser? I barely even know her.
But I still got it.
James.
Yes.
Yep.
Olivia Cockburn.
Well, this is real. It's real, right?
You are
Yeah.
correct.
One of these
That
eventually
is
has
real.
to be real.
I know
Yes.
all the
That is
Cockburns.
James on the board.
Yes, that is the real name of an actress that you may know as Olivia Wilde.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
From Cockburn to Wild.
That's right. Colin.
Yes.
Chaim Witz.
Can you repeat that?
Chaim Witz.
I'm going to say that's real.
You are correct.
Yes.
That is Gene Simmons' real name.
What a nerd.
Oh yeah.
Gene Simmons is a nerd.
Yeah.
He is a nerd.
Oh
He
my
is a
god.
nerd.
That is right. Okay. Eric.
Hello.
Matthew Correspondent.
I find that funnier than Wiener.
I mean, yeah, I'm just going to go with real. Why not?
All right, you are correct.
Yeah.
Matthew Correspondent is a European correspondent for the BBC.
Probably not the one that has baby, that has toddler and his baby roll in the room on him during live on TV. But that would be funny.
Doing the super proud.
Chris. Chris.
Yeah.
Goldilocks.
Sure, why not?
Real?
Sure.
You are incorrect, sir.
Oh,
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah,
I read a
she's from
story about her.
I watched the movie with her. I mean, it really didn't have much of a plot, but had lots of seeds.
I think a wolf won. I don't know. Wait, no, that's wrong.
Bears.
Golden butler. Yeah, bear. The bear won.
All right, James.
The Revenant.
Crystal shits. Crystal shits.
Crystal Schists. Not real.
You are correct.
Middle name Ovarian.
Colin.
Yes.
Cheryl Stoppelmore.
I'm gonna say fake.
You are incorrect.
Ah!
That is Cheryl Ladd's real name.
Who the fuck is Cheryl Ladd?
An actress.
Actor.
Well, I've never heard of her.
Yes, how famous can she really be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, me.
I'm sure you'll get this one.
Good.
Dick Felt.
Sounds real to me.
We're 12.
You are correct.
Yay!
He is a
Sorry,
defense
Richard
halfback
Felt
for the
what?
Boston Patriots. The Boston Patriots.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
back before they were the New England Patriots, back in like the 60s or 70s.
That's right.
not
Yeah,
real. You're
okay.
lying. You ain't never had your dick felt. Quit bragging. Quit lying.
All right. Chris.
Yep.
Aluane Damala Buga Time Bonga Peru Naka Lulu Lu Badara Akon Thame.
Could you repeat that?
No.
I think
I'm gonna go
can't.
I
It's
think-
real.
Yeah, I think that's Akon, right?
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah.
That is Akon.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a point.
That's right.
You sure there wasn't a in there somewhere?
I'm pretty sure. All right. James. Zoltan Pepper.
Zoltan.
like
Pepper.
salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Salt and
Salt and pepper's here. Real.
You are incorrect. That is fake.
That's
Salt and Pepper's not here.
Batman been Superman.
Batman didn't Superman.
Jesus. All right. Colin.
Yes.
Tyrone Shoes.
Oh, come on.
If that's real, his parents are assholes.
That's the best name. Are you kidding?
I'm going with fake.
You are correct.
Yeah.
That is fake.
Yay! 2 points for me.
All right. Okay. This is the last round. Eric.
Okay.
Rick Titballs.
Dick Titballs?
That's just another 10-year-old joke.
Dude, I know Dick Titballs.
Yeah. That sounds fake to me.
You are wrong. That is real.
Oh.
Big tit balls.
Yep.
We grew up together down by the rubber nipple
Yes,
factory.
he is a microbiologist, a science correspondent.
Oh.
Imagine he went into science with a name like that.
All right.
It's Dr. Titballs.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there. All right, Chris.
Y'all.
Tiny Cox.
I'll go with
Oh,
real.
Lord.
You are correct.
Who is he?
He is on the Council of European Observers, and he's interviewed quite a few times.
What does it take to be on the Council of European Observers?
I have
Tiny
no idea.
Cox.
Tiny Cox.
Like somebody that's like observed Europe?
Yeah, I don't really get it.
Been around.
All right, James. This one's going to be hard.
Oh no.
But not
Not
like
like
Tiny
Tiny
Cox.
Cox.
Not like
Yeah!
Ah! Oh, Joe!
Just in time by.
All
Go
right.
me a Coke. All right.
Kimberly.
Hmm.
McDonald Burger.
Kim McBurger. Real.
You are correct.
Yay!
All right.
And who is she?
Yeah. Fast food correspondent?
No, actually, she is one of the ones where
Fast food observer.
she actually became famous because she last name was Berger, and she married Joe McDonald.
Ah.
So she's an internet meme.
And now she tweets for Wendy's.
All right.
That was a joke. All right.
And
You just gave me a new rim shot. I hope you're happy.
Colin,
Yes.
Dr. Joel Roller Coaster.
I'm gonna say that's real.
You are correct.
Dr.
That is
Joe
real.
Roller Coaster.
Yep.
Loving an elevator. Loving it up when I'm going down.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the results are in, and we have one clear winner
Pearl
by
Jam.
a point.
Colin
It's
or
you,
Chris,
James.
right? What?
I know, it's me.
James won?
Yep. James won the game.
Oh, wow.
What?
I know.
Oh yeah, James didn't get any wrong, did he?
Oh wait, I'm
I
sorry.
got-
I forgot to. This is a joke. James won the game. No, I'm kidding. Yes, James, you officially won the game. What are we watching?
Yay.
Woo!
Well, guys, you know that when I win the game, I choose documentaries sometimes, and I know
I
you all
thought
hate
we
it,
weren't
but
doing
too bad.
documentaries.
Doesn't matter. I won the game.
This
Yeah, I
this
thought
one
we were- I
is
thought we were done with that.
entertaining.
I won the game, and you have to watch what I'm going to choose.
I
And that
don't
is-
think I do. I quit.
If I can get through this podcast today, you can get through this documentary.
I don't think that's
I'm-
fair. That's not equivalent to
Okay,
exchange.
okay, but what is it?
Some kind of monster.
No, but what is it?
Okay.
Some kind of monster.
What is it?
It's about Metallica.
God damn it, Chris.
That's the documentary about Pearl Jam, right?
Yes, it's all about Pearl Jam and how
right.
Jeremy spoke in class today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. We're going to be rocking out next week with the Monsters of Rock Metal.
I
Why
have
not?
a feeling that at the end of next week's episode, somebody's going to be madly in anger with James.
We're going to watch.
No.
We're going to watch Some Kind of Monster, the documentary about the rise and fall of Metallica.
Mostly the fall.
Well, it's a
Oh.
documentary about them trying to make an album and not being able to do it.
The worst album ever.
Fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I hate you, James.
That's what you get.
That's what you get when you let James win the game. Whoa, whoa, oh.
Holy
boy.
shit, some
Is that
Lunicoil right
Metallica?
there.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
Metallica.
fucking Paramore.
It's Pearl Jam.
Good night, everybody. A great big thank you to our staff graphic artist, Tabby Walters, the Weekly Cast, and our listeners. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, through YouTube, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. Every third episode is Listener Appreciation, where we choose from your suggestions. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies YouTube channel, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, Incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
What you guys don't know is that me and Chris have a steady bed of ska going on underneath you guys talking.
Yay! All right.
I wish I could pipe this into the mix.
That's okay.